So welcome everybody, Tammy Bux back here for the fourth in our series of Qigong for Vitality. Today we're going to be focusing on the kidneys. It's associated with winter and the element of water. And let's make a start. So as usual, I'll be doing a short discussion in the beginning, just about the aspects of the kidney that we need to think about, and then we'll be getting into the breath, the movement, and end with that lying down meditation as usual. So let's make a start. And I do have my notes with me because today is very interesting. As I suggest, always get into a comfortable seat, and if you're at home, feel free to sit on a sofa, a chair, a bolster, a cushion, a block. I'd like to have the hips a little higher so that we've got room for the spine to grow, room for the torso to have enough space for the organs not to be compressed. And there's a nice flow of qi, which is the life force energy that happens. So as I mentioned today, we're talking about the kidneys. And now the kidneys are in traditional Chinese medicine and Qigong. The kidneys are the powerhouse of the body. We have the two kidneys that are sitting sort of mid to lower back, and above them are the adrenal glands. And there's an interplay between the adrenals and the kidney function, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. And so what you'll often find is when your kidneys are not functioning well, you'll feel tired and depleted. And that's that life essence that we all have inside us that starts to chip away and wear away and makes you feel not very good. And so the idea is to keep the kidneys in a very good level of performance so that the body, the water in the body is regulated. And when we look at the emotions, we're looking at the kidneys holding fear and loneliness, or as I've also heard of it, fear of loneliness. It's an interesting thing because when we clear the fear and loneliness away, what we're going to be nourishing and bringing in is courage, faith, and wisdom. There may be other things that arise for you. Yesterday I taught a class and we were connecting the kidneys to the element of water, and it's a beautiful deep ocean blue color that's associated with it, water, ocean blue. And yesterday, one of my students, we were doing the movement and she was picturing it and she said, suddenly joy arose in her body. So you don't have to stick to the emotions that I'm talking about. You may clear something different and something different may arise. And so it's just a guide and a suggestion. And this is what I want to sort of have you think about today. She did feel some fear and loneliness coming up, and so that was interesting, but her nourishing emotion was something quite different. And I have a little thing that I always normally have available to read to you, because I like to, it's not just that we're going to mindlessly do the movements and we want to know what the background is about it. And so let's just go back to this beautiful acupuncture website. It's called Mend Acupuncture. And this is written by Alexandra McKelvey. So, as you know, we've been talking about every week, Chinese medicine corresponds to a season, an organ, an emotion, and an element. And so winter, we're really into winter now, you know, it's maybe even sort of hail and snow next week in some of the areas. And again, that's a time of coming inward. And so historically, winter is tied with survival mode, scarcity, storing up for the winter. Making sure you have everything you need until spring. It's the coldest and darkest time of the year. And it's a season known for depth, slowing down, going inward. And sometimes that can be a little scary for us to go inward and have to look at ourselves. And so the kidney and the fear relationship is interesting because there's a connection to the adrenaline and cortisol that is released from the adrenal glands that are just above the kidneys, which activate the fight, flight, and freeze response, which is like the survival instinct. And so it's interesting because the body is giving us a message, and the fear of looking in and finding out what is in the depths of our soul isn't always an easy thing. So when we have a very hectic lifestyle and then we come into stillness, suddenly you get something called adrenal fatigue, and it arises up when you're like, go, 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 go. There's no time to think and rest. But in winter, sometimes we pare everything back, we go slowly. And then suddenly you get this exhaustion, and this adrenal fatigue kind of hits you, and you don't quite know what to do about it. And it's one of those times when you've been busy and then you go on vacation and you get sick, or you're just exhausted because all that pent up exhaustion and that depletion suddenly has a place to release. So we want to try and clear the kidneys as much as possible, as often as possible. And so as we slow down in winter, we want to rest as much as we can, allow ourselves to take the pressure off. I know it's hard with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, or the holiday season. Try and nourish yourselves with what you eat and drink, and stay cozy and warm. Try and have a lot of nutritional choices that are going to counterbalance the overeating and whatever we've just done at Halloween, the wrong things we've been eating, or overeating at Thanksgiving, Christmas. Every other day, try and be very mindful of how you drink and eat. And then the idea of facing the tiger, or that fear or loneliness or whatever is inside you. Acknowledge your feelings. Let yourself feel your feelings. Be curious. Just be curious. Where's it coming from? Maybe you can journal and just think about it, and just let it go a little bit. Be a bit soft. And that way you're not having it pent up inside of you. So what I suggest for the beginning, we do a little bit of kidney breathing. So let's warm up our hands. And we're all different, but I think I'll quickly show you from the back, because so I warm up the hands, and then I bring it to kind of the mid to lower back. And so when you bring your hands here, you're bringing your hands across the two areas of where the kidney and adrenals are. Now, this may be a little tough. If that's the case, then you can just bring your hands in front and picture that if it's okay with your shoulders, and then start to breathe in. And I'm not sure if you can see it, and I'll stand up. As you breathe in, there's a little expansion around the back muscles where the hands are. Can you feel that? Breathe in, and there's an expansion into the kidneys. Breathe out, and there's a contraction. Breathe in. So we're bringing our mind into this area of the body. Just think of clearing and replenishing. And I'm not sure, because if that thing is in the way, if you can see a little bit how there's a movement, very slight movement, but we're feeling the breath go into the back to where the kidneys are, starting to soften the connective tissue that's holding those organs, bringing a sense of gentleness, ease, nourishment. You may want to close your eyes or softly focus down towards the ground and be slow, soft, gentle. Feel into that very tender part of the body. And we should be very tender with our bodies, knowing the kidneys perform such an important function, regulating the fluids, bringing a powerhouse of energy, knowing that they can get depleted. Be kind and soft and gentle with the thoughts with the breath, and then slowly, mindfully, gently bring the hands out and down. So I'll turn back around. So we're going to, for most of the class, we're going to try and remember that breathing, remember those kidneys and how they move, how the body moves in and out. So when we breathe in, the diaphragm goes down, the rib cage expands, these muscles, the connective tissue is getting softened and supple. And it's the connective tissue that allows us to stretch and release any embedded memories, any embedded emotion in the tissues of the body. Some people say we have muscle memory, but it's actually connective tissue and fascia memory. And when we are soft, we are able to stretch better. It's not about stretching that muscle out. It's about softening and easily being so kind and tender. And then the body just surrenders and lets go. So on that note, what we'll do is we'll stand up and commence our movement part of the session. So move any props off to the side. Just double check that the sound is available. Yes. So we stand hip distance apart with the feet. And yes, if you have socks, it's a good idea to remove them. You can always put your socks back on at the end of the practice when we go to lie down and you want to keep warm. So feet are hips distance apart, and we'll start in what is called Wuji. Wuji is like the mountain pose of Qigong. So we're very soft in the knees, the spine is upright, chin is tucked, crown is to the sky, shoulders up, back and down, and then a little bit of space in the armpits, the palms face behind us, and the fingers are pointing down. And we create spaciousness in the body. It may not be feeling that spacious right now, but we will create some space. So this is our resting pose, our reflection pose. Just get used to how this feels. It should feel very, very easeful. And now we'll start to do the whole body shaking. So we bend at the knees, bend at the ankles, breathe through it, and allow yourself to kind of almost flop like a rag doll. There is a little bit of integrity in the fact that we want to hold ourselves up through the leg bones, through the hips, through the shoulder girdle, but we're trying to get that kind of jello on the plate kind of feeling. I don't know, in Australia, we had this little nursery rhyme, jelly on, and we call it, in Australia, jelly is jello is jelly. Jelly on the plate, jelly on the plate, wibble wobble, jelly on the plate. It's like such a cute little thing. Every time I do this, I think of that. You almost feel like your jello on the plate, right? And then there's many ways you can tap your heels if you like, and bring that percussive resonance. Even like say I'm talking and you can feel my voice is resonating with the movement. So it's going into all the tissues, into that connective tissue, into the bones. You may want to do a heel drop, a couple of heel drops, and then really let go with the arms. It's as you feel. Make this your own. Make it as loose, loosey-goosey as you like, loose and limp. But again, we don't want to throw out our back or our neck or our hips. So make sure that you've got a little bit of integrity in there. And breathe through it. And if you like to just have this as a moving meditation, you can close your eyes. We'll have a little bit of silence. So really feel into it and breathe. Just remember, we're clearing stagnant energy, tension, stress out through the arms, through the fingers, from the palms down through the legs, down through the soles of the feet, out into the earth, through the breath, down, down, down. We'll just do this for a little bit longer. You may want to slightly engage the abs so that you're not compromising the back. Nothing too, like you can have your belly out and then just feel a little bit. If your belly's out, then you want to like make sure the glutes are holding on, keeping you stable. And let's slow down in 3, 2, and 1. And let's come to Wuji again. Pause and feel, become aware of the temperature and texture of the skin. Any tingling, pulsing? Is the body feeling a little more vibrant, a little more alive, or maybe there's some other feeling? The quality of the heart, the breath, the energy. And gently release. And we'll go into the spinal twist. Feet are a little bit wider now. And we want to bring our feet as though there are roots growing into the earth so that we keep nice and grounded and stable. So another thing that we'd like to do with the kidney, the organ, the meridians, is we want to ground. And so if you were in my class in the last series, grounding is about bringing the energy down and connecting to the earth and being very having a feeling of safety, security, being held by the earth, solid, stable. And so we bring our mind into the feet and feel those roots growing down. And we keep the hips somewhat stable as we twist through the torso. And we're breathing through it. We allow the arms to just float around. And slight bend in the knees when you turn to one side and the other. And you can do it all the way with the neck as you look behind you. And now what I want you to do a little more mindfully is let's tap the kidneys at the back. And so we'll activate the kidneys. And you go as high as you can. I'm not that flexible in my shoulder rotation, so I'm kind of in the middle of the back. And so we're bringing awareness by tapping the body. It doesn't have to be a huge strike. It can just be a slight tap. If you feel like striking a bit stronger, it brings the blood flow, it brings the energy. Starting to think about clearing the kidneys out. So we're bringing warmth and movement and a feeling into the tissues of the skin, into the muscles near where the two kidneys are. And someone had the question in my training class, I said, what if you've only got one kidney? Well, you just imagine that you have two. And let's gently start to slow down and bring the arms very softly back down. And we'll finish in 3, in 2, and 1, and back to Wuji. Hollow body, spacious, clear. And the feeling. I just share my experience. You may have something different. I often find that the energy is near the chest, moving up to the throat, towards the head after this practice. It could be different for you, and that's all good. The idea is to just notice and be aware and how it makes you feel. And release. So we do one last stretching exercise, then we'll do our joint opening and then get into the kidneys proper. This is going to be like a circular movement of the torso. So we start, the feet are just under the hips, and we have our fingers pointing towards each other, and then we rise up above the head, holding up the heavens, And we're going to take a circular movement through the torso, and you can go as deep or as shallow as you like. So we breathe in and then we breathe out, and we take a circular motion and then cup the hands as we get to the bottom, and then circle back around. And then breathe out as we go down, cup the hands, palms towards the face, and then we move around and we're bending the knees. And so it's a beautiful, soft, flowing motion. Just getting awareness in that torso, getting a little bit more stretch through the side body, and a good idea to slightly engage the core. So we're protecting the back, and go as slow as you like. Bending over, we breathe out. Stretching up, we breathe in. And let's make the next full circle the last circle. So we're bending through, we're stretching up, and we'll meet up in the center, and then we will reverse it. So we go the other way. It's just a different kind of movement to get a little bit more flow into that midsection. We can bring our mind to that kidney at the back as we bend over, breathing into those kidneys and up and around. Gentle, gentle on the body. It should feel really good. If it doesn't feel good, maybe you can make the dip a little shallower. There's nothing in the books that say you have to scrape the floor. You can just notionally bring it around. A lot of these things, if you are uncomfortable in a certain position, just visualize your body doing that. Or you can adapt and modify to suit how the body is feeling on any given day. So if you don't want to go down, just go here and twist the torso around. And let's just make this the last 3, 2, and this is your last circle, and we meet supporting the heavens. And then gently allow the hands to float down. It's starting to get a bit warm. I don't know, I might just make this a little bit less high. There we go. I shake it out. Okay. So from here, let's start to open the joints. We'll start with the neck. So again, with the joints, we're clearing out any stuck, stagnant energy, any stress, anything that is like feeling knotted up. So hands on hips, and we'll do the neck, half circles. I hear a lot of crackling. I think this is not a very lubricated part of my body. It's very cranky. I can hear the crackling. And you can go as slow as you like. And let's now do a rainbow with the nose above, only half. Make sure the head is balanced nicely and you're not throwing the head back. Oftentimes we get over enthusiastic and can throw the neck out this way. So be very mindful and gentle. And then once we've done a few of these, then be very careful that we can slowly do a full 360 rotation one way and then the opposite way. Just clearing out the stagnation in those tiny, tiny joints and facets in the neck. And let your next round either side be the last. And let's release that. So I want to do wrists, elbows, and shoulders all together. So I think we've done this one before. If you haven't been in my class before, we start with the palms up and we bring the palms back, and then we twist them so the palms are always facing up. We push back and push forward, and then we twist the arms back around. So most of the time, we're wanting the palms to face up. And so you're getting that rotation, and then you kind of swing it around. And so we're getting a rotation in the shoulder, in the elbows, in the wrists, in the fingers. And then we bring it around like almost like a flamenco kind of feeling. So I'll show you sideways. The idea is to keep the palms up as much as possible. And we flow the body with it. And we try to be a little soft and supple. We're not cranking ourselves around. I'll go the other way. So we bend forward as the hands go back, and then we rise up. Whenever we rise, we breathe in. Whenever we bend, we breathe out. It's a natural movement of the body. The chest expands, we breathe in. We fold over and breathe out. And so let this be the last round. And we meet in the center, and then we go the other direction. So it's pushing out, almost like a breaststroke, and then pulling back in, pushing out, pulling back in, pushing out, back in. This is like slow motion, so soothing to the nervous system. The repetition, the familiarity allows the body to go from fight and flight into rest and digest. Really a beautiful self-regulation technique. And let this be the last 3, 2, and 1, and release. So we'll just do our hip circle. So feet are a little wider. Yeah, just shake out the arm. Maybe just, we'll just do the arms a little bit. This to me, I don't know, for me, it's one of my very, very stuck sore points, these shoulders and neck. And then slowly move the other way. Very free flowing, so that we have the minimal amount of stress in the joints. Almost like the hands are weightless, the arms are weightless, and they're just moving of their own accord. And let's shake it out. So go into the hip circles. And so hands on the hips, feet are nice and stable, and we're just circling. And I said that this is like hula. Maybe this isn't like hula. It's like a hula hoop. Here we again can bring our mind into the kidneys. Actually, we can bring our hands onto the back and see. Don't overstretch anything in the elbows or shoulders, but just, it is a kidney practice, so we can nourish the kidneys. Anytime that you're feeling depleted, you can rub your hands and put your hands on your kidneys and bring your breath in there and your mind in there for nourishment and replenishment. And let's go the other direction. And if you get tired, you can bring your hands back down. You can just visualize that your awareness is in the kidneys. Maybe feel into how depleted they may be. What's your energy level like? That kind of thing. And let's see by the end of the practice if anything's changed. This is not only a beautiful way to nourish the kidneys, but it's a kind of an arm movement, this position we don't normally get into. And it's, beautiful stretch across the clavicle, through the neck and the chest. And then in 3, 2, and 1, let's come to the center. Feet closer together. Cup the palms go on the kneecaps, and we circle. And so depending on how your balance is, the feet can be very close together, or they can be a little further apart. And feel into the nourishment, the hydration, into the ankles, the knees, the hips. Even the spine is getting a slight, slightly twisting a little bit there. Twirl. Look down at your feet. See how beautifully the feet are in motion. We don't even have to keep the feet still on this one because they're getting a nice massage. And then let's go the other way. You may want to slightly engage the core, just not to compromise the back. Again, when we do this joint opening, we're bringing synovial fluid into those joints and facets, and it should be a very nourishing practice. So don't feel like it's, if it's hurting, then ease off, because sometimes the joints can be very stuck and we don't want to jar them. We want to slowly hydrate. And then just meet in the middle, and we're going to bend and stretch. Sit into a seat, stretch the hamstrings, go as deep or as shallow as you like, make it your own, listen to your body. So some crackles happening, and that's completely normal. By moving the joints. If we can move the joints like this every day, then they'll become nice and soft and supple. And 3, 2, and 1, and then slowly just rise up slowly, vertebra by vertebra, until the head comes up, and release. Okay, before we start the kidney clearing, let's just do one pulling up from the earth. So the feet are rooted to the earth, and then we bring our hands like a cup, and we're rising up. So we're imagining that we're bringing up the earth energy through the feet, through the hands, through the torso, up, breathing in, up the earth energy. And when we get to the heart, we flip it, and then we connect to the sky and shower that energy down and around like a fountain. And so we come into balance between heaven and earth, and release. Okay, so for the kidneys, we have the sound that we're going to release through the breath is Shri. It's such like a cute sound. It's very cute. And it's supposed to resonate in that part of the body. I'm not quite sure. The action that we're going to do is kind of be in like a squat, like a chair squat. Hands are on the thighs, and we're going to do like a cat-cow position where we breathe in and arch back, and then as we breathe out, navel to the spine, C shape, curl over, and we exhale Shri. So breathe in, and then breathe out Shri. So we're trying to get all of that air out. So this is the cat, no, this is the cow. And then we breathe out Shri. Do a few more of these. Arch the back and then curve the back, navel to the spine. Shri. Just a few more. Shri. And we're breathing out fear and loneliness. Breathe in. We breathe out fear and loneliness. Shri. Last one. Shri. And gently, gently, gently rise up. Very simple, but very potent. This can move a lot of energy. So hydrate, look after yourselves today and the next few days. Let's just warm our hands and rub the kidneys down. Just rub the kidneys, bring a little bit of nourishment and warmth. And then gently release. And now for the nourishment of the kidneys, we're imagining that beautiful ocean blue color. We breathe in, gather that ocean blue color, and we store it in the kidneys, and we're breathing in courage, faith, and wisdom. And we're connecting to that water element as we do it. And so some of you may have seen this before. We bring, I'll do it backwards. So the left hand is on the right kidney, and then we start with the hand, palm facing away, and we breathe in and we move to one side, and the feet are a little wider than hips distance. We breathe, and then we breathe out, and we cup the hand as if its hand is going through water, gathering the water and storing it into the kidneys. So we breathe in and gather courage, wisdom, and faith. Breathe out and store that beautiful courage, wisdom, and faith into the kidneys. Breathe in that ocean blue. Gather and store that ocean blue into the kidneys. Breathe in courage, faith, and wisdom. Store courage, faith, and wisdom. So we've got the emotions and the color, and we can use this as a moving meditation. Very gentle, very flowing. So tender with ourselves. Do a few more on this side. Just allow the body, the mind, the emotions to flow. Allow whatever arises to arise. We're storing that beautiful water element, that deep blue, replenishing, charging up the kidneys. And make the next one your last one. On this side, and then shake it out. This arm gets a little, it's not the easiest thing on the arms. Okay, and then we bring the right hand to the left kidney, feet are wide apart, and so I'll do it. So my hand is in front of my face, but it's going this way, and then we scoop up that beautiful ocean blue water. Hand is across the palm, facing away, scooping up, replenishing, recharging the kidneys. There may be another emotion that comes to mind. That beautiful, beautiful, deep sapphire ocean blue. Then we inhale, we gather. Exhale, we store that beautiful energy. Inhale, gather. Exhale, store into the tissues, the organ, the body, the mind, the emotions. So gentle and soft. Slightly engage the core to protect the back. Only bend as far as is comfortable. Let's just do a few more of these. Last two. Last one. We just release the hands. shake out, and let's get back into Wuji and pause and feel all the feelings, the sensations, temperature, texture. The hollow body, the calm, the quiet, the stillness. Really feel in. I feel like my arms are levitating on their own accord. There's this energy, some energy in the palms, in the hands, the arms, like I could just take on the world. Just sharing my experience. You don't have to feel the same. And gently release. So we'll end by just doing a balancing. So the balancing today, we will do left and right hemisphere. So it's a centering practice. Slightly bend the knees. We cup the hands. And so the hands are cupped in front of the navel. And we take the left hand out and we draw in that earth energy, rise up. And then as we come to the top of the head, we have a half prayer and bring that beautiful sky energy down into the torso, balancing out heaven and earth. And then that hand comes to cup on the top, the opposite hand just flowing smooth like a prayer. The body is a sacred vessel between the heaven and the earth, between the sky and the land and the seas. Balance left and right, yin and yang, night and day, sun and moon, masculine, feminine. And close our eyes, move as a meditation. Silence is sacred. Just one more each side. Once you've done both sides, just hands palm on palm onto the belly. Just breathe. One final Wuji. Just feel into it. What's different now from when you first walked in here? Mind, body, emotions, are they calmer, more still, more balanced? Gently open the eyes and we'll make our way down to lying down on the floor for a guided body scan meditation. So I like to ask you to put the bolster under your knees as you lie down. If you need to put on something warm, some socks, now's a good idea to do that. I'll turn the lights down. First, I'll show the people at home. So I normally just come down very gently onto the knees and then place the bolster under the thighs or the knees and bring the rest of the body down onto the floor. So from the head to the buttocks, the arms are by your side, palms facing up, hands just slightly away from the hips. The feet are hip distance apart, and you can allow the feet to just splay out. If this isn't comfortable, you can just put your feet onto the floor with your knees up towards the sky and the knees touching each other. Same position with the hands. So whatever feels comfortable to you, if you're at home, you may want to get a blanket, just keep yourselves warm. Allow the body to melt and soften into the floor beneath you. I'll turn the lights down and see if I can. Turn some music on. So softening. Releasing. Soften. Allow the back of the body to feel heavy. Thoughts may come and go. Allow them to come and allow them to float away like clouds in the sky. So we're softening all of the skin from the scalp, the face, the cheeks, the neck and shoulders. Unclench the jaw. Soften between the eyebrows. Soften the skin, the flesh, the bones of the face and the skull and the neck. Relax, release tension from the neck and shoulders, from around the heart space, around the kidneys, down the arms and hands. Soften the skin, the flesh, the bones, the whole way through the torso, the legs, the feet. The body is soft and supple. The mind, the emotions are soft and gentle. Oh, so kind, tender with ourselves. Now we see or feel a beautiful ocean blue light around the kidneys, inside the kidneys and the adrenals, that lower to mid-back area. It's a vibrant sapphire blue color. Just picture it glowing, radiant, shining. It's replenishing the life force essence in and around the kidneys, the adrenals, bringing the body back into balance. Any signs of depletion, we just fill it up until we feel alive and vibrant. Feel a beautiful warmth around the kidney area, a glow. So serene, so soft. And that beautiful sapphire blue is healing, replenishing. The feeling of a warm, warm ocean wave in the warmest part of the world. That warm water swirling, soothing, We bring warmth into the heart, kindness, tenderness. Softening, letting go, surrendering into that beautiful, warm blue ocean. So we were floating, riding on the warm waves, lapping the shore. The body is weightless, spacious. The warmth of the water and the color. Moving through the body, the mind, the emotions, clearing, cleansing, nourishing. Any residual fear or loneliness floats away. We build up our reserves of courage, faith, and wisdom. Continue to feel the body weightless and floating on that warm sapphire blue water. Feel the warmth of the sun coming into the skin and the flesh and the bones as you float on the ocean, surrounded by that sapphire blue. Continue to let go, release, surrender. Allow the waves to buoy you up, weightless. You don't have to do a thing. Bring that sense of courage into the heart. And be oh so tender with the heart. And that tenderness allows the body, the mind, and the emotions to soften even more. So gentle, so precious. This body, this life that we live. How precious is the next breath, the next heartbeat. We feel the energy growing, replenishing from the kidneys into the rest of the body, replenishing the mind and emotions, replenishing the spirit. Final letting go and release as we bathe in the silence and that beautiful sapphire blue, warm ocean water. Very slowly and gently come back to the body, back to the breath. Just bring some movement into the hands, the feet, the neck. You may want to do a full body stretch from the tips of the fingers, hands above the head, arms stretched out, toes stretched out. Just being mindful of the back of the body, circling the wrists and the ankles. Gently bring one knee, then the other knee, cross at the ankles, palms onto the knee caps, and just rock side to side like a boat on the ocean. Soft and smooth, releasing that lower back, upper back, shoulders. Now let's all roll over to the right side. We bring the arm above the head onto the ground. Knees up into the belly. Rest the cheek on the upper arm. Softly integrating last moment of kindness and tenderness. We gently push up very slowly, mindfully, carefully to a seated position. It can be cross-legged, can be on your knees, on a bolster, on a block, however it feels comfortable to you. Spine is long. We'll do one pull down heaven. So we warm up the hands. Bring the hands either side of the hips. Feel that earth energy. Pull the earth energy up and flip the palms. Bring the sky energy down, showering from the heavens into every cell of the body. Replenishing, and hands back to the sides. We do palm on palm onto the heart center, onto the breastbone. Bow our heads in reverence of the practice. Really feel into the body, the mind, the emotions. We've moved a lot of energy today. We leave with the intention to be so kind and tender to ourselves today and every day. The light, the love, the joy in me sees and honors the light, the love, the joy in you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. We are now complete. So again, hydration is very important, and warm liquids if you can. Nourishing foods, keep yourselves warm, and look Look after your hearts, look after your kidneys. And again, I invite you, and if anything resonated with you in the practice today, please feel free to practice it a few times this week. See what kind of difference it makes to you. And if you're ever tired, warm up your hands, rub down your kidneys. This kidney breathing, this kidney massage is such a wonderful thing. You can just get energized and feel much better than you did beforehand. So thanks so much for coming today. Next week, we'll be looking at the liver. And I know we're releasing anger and frustration. I'm not sure what we're nourishing in. I didn't commit that to memory. So as usual, we'll see you back here and look forward to it. And then the week after will be the heart. Beautiful practice to close on before Thanksgiving. And then I'm working on some more workshops to come either in December or the new year. So you can watch out for those. But in the meantime, take such good care of yourselves. This is the home, your only home that you've got. So love it and be kind and so caring and so careful. It's very sacred for me to be teaching you all. And I just hope that when you leave from here, there's a little bit more love and kindness and tenderness in your hearts for yourselves. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining at home. Hope to see you next week.